All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Chelsea's ownership has communicated support to Potter in recent days. Injuries are being taken into account. More than one source close to the senior players said how much they loved Potter. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there is a lot of support for Graham Potter from the ownership, and rightly so. Let's talk about all of this.
All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin.
All right, welcome back to the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen. Lots to talk about in terms of Chelsea news. Whole heap of recruitment that's happening off field again. More people from Brighton coming in. A few people are laughing about it in social media, saying you might as well change our crest to a seagull, call ourselves Brighton. And let's see what all of these news actually mean. So we're going to talk about all of this. Let's first have a look at this particular article that dropped about 24 to 48 hours ago. Simon Johnson from The Athletic has dropped this, and thanks to PYS, who's been able to get some extract of it and put it into a bit of a thread. So let's have a look at this. There seems to be resounding support for Graham Potter. Chelsea's ownership has communicated support to Potter in recent days. Injuries are being taken into account. More than one source close to the senior players said how much they loved Potter. Close to the senior players, there you go. Although this was before the downturn, very important to realize, although this was before the downturn in results. Now, look, I don't think this stance would change anyway now. I know we've had quite a few losses in recent times. We looked a bit clueless. Having said that, I'm still pretty certain the new owners will see this through. They 100% will want to give Graham Potter at least a couple of windows, at least give him some players to implement his football and play the way he wants to play. I'm pretty certain some of the players that we have currently are probably not fancied by Graham Potter. Having said that, there will be some form of little doubts might be creeping in on our owners. Yeah, considering the results that we've seen in recent times. I mean, is it good enough with the caliber of players we have? I know they're not good enough, all of them, but are they that bad to have 3 losses, 4 losses in a row, no wins in the last 5 Premier League games, and lingering around in 8th, 9th position in the Premier League table? So I'm pretty certain there'll be that little bit of a doubt, but nonetheless, I think the resounding support towards Graham Potter is warranted. We 100% need to see this through. Definitely need to see what we can do in January. And then from there on, what is Graham Potter able to do with those players? That's how, we're going to progressively judge Graham Potter. The article further goes on to say the consortium also felt Potter was more willing to give youth and homegrown talent a chance than Tuchel. Now, I have an issue with this because this whole, Thomas Tuchel didn't give youth a chance. It just gets overplayed too much. It's a bit... I feel like it's not the entire truth, man. Like Thomas Tuchel, there was Chalobah, there was a few cup games last season where Lewis Hall was given an opportunity. I remember, who's the other guy? Harvey Vale was part of the team as well, and a few of the other players they were part in and out of the first team training squad. So this whole thing about Tuchel not giving youth a chance, I don't think it's entirely right. And when they talk about Potter being more open, well, Amari Hutchinson didn't get any minutes. And Lewis Hall only apparently played because Cucurella wasn't feeling well, and obviously Ben Chilwell was injured. Look, I hope Potter does collaborate with our youth team a lot more. And I don't mean just for the sake of it. The talented ones need to see some sort of an opportunity, and there should be a development plan for them, but we shouldn't just play them just for the sake of it. So I hope it's not like every youth academy product that's coming out from Common starts getting an opportunity. That shouldn't be the case because not every one of them will be good. So watch this space in regards to that. Chelsea's owners wanted a Champions League run, and in this regard, Potter has delivered, taking Chelsea into the last 16 after picking up 1 point from the opening 2 games. Now that is definitely kudos to Graham Potter. We were in tatters after the first 2 games. We were smack bang in the bottom of the table, and for Potter to come in and win the remaining 4 games and ensure that we qualify as top of the table in the Champions League, that's a fantastic achievement. And everyone says this, Chelsea are more of a cup side as opposed to a league side. So Let me know. Let me know how you feel about this article from Simon Johnson in regards to our ownership having resounding support for Graham Potter. It almost looks like, and I saw some tweets, comments out there from different publications and also journalists as well, saying that it won't matter even if we finish outside of top four. Graham Potter's job is safe. Like, the new owners will not pull the plug. So strap yourself in for a season where we may not achieve anything and potentially could maybe out of the European sector, I suppose, and then slowly, hopefully, build from next season. How do you feel about that? Let me know. But look, it is important to realize there's been injuries and to key players, but most specifically, Reece James. The fact that Reece James is injured for a substantial amount of time, it has affected our performance. He is hugely missed. Crucial in attack, crucial in defense, and obviously N'Golo Kante. How can we forget his impact as well? But he's barely available these days, so we should figure out a way to move on. Now, let's move on to the next bit of news. Breaking: Neil Bath has been promoted to Director of Football Development and Operations and now has a say in first team matters. Look, some of you guys might ask, who's Neil Bath? Neil Bath is the director or head of development, I think, head of the youth team. He's the one who's, directly finding out all these gems in the development team and sort of recommending them to the first team. Look, I like this promotion. Neil Bath promoted to Director of Football and Development and Operations and will have say in the first team. I just get worried with all of these different people who will have say in the first team, not just Neil Bath now. We're going to touch on a few other people, all the different people that we've brought in recently, which will show I'm actually might just show this particular tweet right now. These are the few people that we've got in. Christopher Vivell, I'm not sure whether that's been announced as yet, but that's happening. Christopher Vivell, technical director, who will definitely have say in the first team. Lawrence Stewart, who we've got in as a technical director, who will also have say in the first team. Joe Shields was brought in, director of recruitment. He's going to have say in the first team. And Paul Winstanley, which we'll touch on now, the latest recruitment from Brighton, who will also have say in the first team. So I'm just wondering, do we have too many chefs in the kitchen, too many cooks in the kitchen where, someone like Graham Potter, I don't want him to get dominated by all of these people. It's good to have all of these support, but at the same time, you got to be careful how many people are speaking in the boardroom. So we'll see whether this is going to be a hindrance or it's going to be a good situation for Graham Potter to get a whole heap of ideas. But I don't know, man. I feel like when you have too many people giving too many suggestions, sometimes nothing seems to work. But this on its own, on an isolation piece, I think this is a good situation. Neil Bath has been part of the Chelsea setup for a very, very long time, and he is well aware, well across of all the youth players that are coming through our system, and he knows which one are the standout ones. So, players like Omari Hutchinson, we probably do want to start seeing him in the first team. So players like Lewis Hall as well. So this is probably a good move. Next up, Paul Winstanley joins Chelsea as Director of Global Talent and Transfers. Todd Bowley and Iqbali said Paul is going to be a great addition to Chelsea. He's highly respected and is a key senior addition as we continue to build a world-class sporting team. And this particular brother is from Brighton. We are stripping Brighton apart. We've got their manager, we've got their backroom staff, we've now got Paul Winstanley. And then now we're looking into getting some of their players as well. So we're doing a madness on Brighton. Paul Winstanley joins Chelsea Football Club as Director of Global Talent and Transfer. More focus on recruitment, global talent transfers. As I said, this particular tweet here, which sets out who's coming in. There's a lot of people that are involved in recruitment. Joe Shields, Lawrence Stewart, who's also going to be very much involved in not just recruitment of this particular team, but other teams that Todd Bowley and Clearlake Capital end up buying in that multi-dimensional structure that we're looking to create. So yeah, let's see what happens. Paul Winstanley says, I'm thrilled to be joining Chelsea and to continue working with Graham Potter and his team. There is real sense of excitement and momentum around the new ownership and this project. There's no doubt about it. There is massive excitement around this project. He further goes on to say, I'm looking forward to working with such an outstanding group of colleagues as the club moves into a new era. Some people in social media are taking the absolute mick out of this. This is Matt Montana, who's a Twitter account saying, breaking. After much consideration, Chelsea FC are pleased to announce a line on the club badge will be changing to a seagull in the new year as we undertake this new exciting era. Look, ladies and gentlemen, let me know how you feel about all of these recruitment off-field. It's probably the best time right now to look into all of this during this break in the World Cup and set up the structure properly. We've not had, obviously, since the owners took over the transfer window, the summer transfer window that just went, it sort of was a bit of a chaotic situation because the owners were trying to settle in. We needed players in, a lot of players left. And we haven't had the chance to really put that structure, that club structure together. And now, hopefully, during this break, we can do this. And I know some of you guys might be thinking, Miz, this is all well and dandy, having all of this great structure behind the scenes and ensuring from here on we make the right selection in terms of bringing in the players that we're going to bring in and also the players that need to leave. But we need to start this thing moving. Come the January window, we better be absolutely astute about what we're doing, and our plan is, bang on. If our plan is poor and we have a poor January transfer window, it will be detrimental to Graham Potter's tenure at Chelsea Football Club and also the club's results moving forward in the next phase of the season. So great. Create the structure, have it all done, set out properly, but at the same time, I need to start seeing some results. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know how you feel about all of this stuff that's going on in the background at Chelsea Football Club. Todd Bowley, looks like there is a structure that's being built around to help out Graham Potter and the team and, future recruitments. All right, next up, ladies and gentlemen, news about Nkunku. Should we be worried? Look, this is why I'm scared about the World Cup. I'm very excited, obviously, with the World Cup around, some fantastic games, and it's an event that comes, once every 4 years. You get to see some new talents, hopefully. And as I said, the World Cup, the euphoria of it is fantastic. But having said that, some of the players are probably going to cop a long-term injury. And there's some latest news in regards to Nkunku, who's picked up a knock in training sessions. So we'll go through that. But first, this is the latest in regards to Nkunku. Fabrizio Romano, it's not yet clear when we could get an official announcement on Christopher Nkunku to Chelsea. The deal is ready, but not signed yet. The clubs will discuss about timing of the transfer, but initially it has always been planned for next summer. This is what I thought as well. Next summer looks like it's very positive and very advanced in terms of where it is in the transfer news. But I just thought January is a bit too far-fetched, knowing that Leipzig are in the round of 16 in the Champions League. So losing a player like Nkunku, that's going to be detrimental to them. I don't think that's probably feasible. So summer, I thought, is more of a realistic timeline. Having said that, you never know. We're in trouble as well. We're in trouble. We need players. But look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Latest from the French training ground. Christopher Nkunku had to leave training for the Blues limping. Check this out. This is the latest footage that's materializing in social media. As you can see, he's picked up an injury and they had to stop. He had to leave. And this is what I'm worried about, man. There could be some players that could pick up serious injuries in the World Cup, and I hope they don't, man. I really hope, especially our players. I hope they don't, because it's only gonna screw us up even more. We've already got some long-term injuries, and if you're gonna add more to it, it's gonna be bad. And player like Nkunku, who we linked with and who's literally moments away from signing for Chelsea Football Club, if this guy picks up an injury that is going to rule him out for 2-3 months, what does it mean? What does it mean for the transfer to Chelsea? Which is going to be interesting. I still think it'd probably go on, but you just don't know how serious an injury can be. But apparently the early word on this is that it's an impact injury, and hopefully he will recover from it. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us till the end of today's Chelsea news. We'll be back again with a live show tomorrow early, much like what we did earlier on today. And we'll go through the latest. We'll touch on the Mason Mount situation. I think there's some talks about his contract extension. We'll talk about Leandro Trossard. His transfer rumors are materializing again. And Hakim Ziyech is linked to it as well. So yeah, we'll look into all of that. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. Smash the like button if you have. If you're here for the first time, subscribe and comment. Comment how you feel about the fact that the resounding support for Graham Potter from our owners and the structure that is being built to hopefully see some fruitful results from the team. Until next time, see ya.